think we need to see an improvement in confidence, global confidence. Confidence in the mainland markets have also been like a little soft as a result of what we've seen in the property market and some let's say, expectations of potentially higher growth that were observed at the beginning of the year. In that context, as confidence builds up, probably that would be a key driver for performance in the future.
How much of the sentiment is weighed down by high interest rates and the upcoming U.S. elections, or is it more of what's happening in China, the sluggish economy there, and the property crisis?
Well, I mean, interest rates are important, especially in a market like ours where we have a lot of technology companies. What happens is these high PE companies, let's take, for example, HKEX, we're trading like 25 to 30 times price to earnings, which means that a lot of the cash flows are in the future. As interest rates go up, clearly that has an effect on value. Had you bought a treasury bond, a US treasury bond, when interest rates were at 1%, let's say you buy a 30-year treasury bond, today that same bond would be worth half or less than half than what it was, when interest rates were about 1%. So clearly the interest rates have a big impact in high PE companies, which we have a lot. That's why our tech index suffered, quite a bit. So I do think that as interest rates come down, we should expect valuations to be adjusted as well. And on top of that, obviously, all the geopolitical factors are playing a role as well in terms of valuations.
73 IPOs, $5.8 billion raised in 2023. I had the pleasure of speaking with Joe Tsai from Alibaba, and he said that China Logistics, while it is in line for a listing here, he really just wants to wait and see. How big of a risk is that companies will just go somewhere else because the market conditions are not right here in Hong Kong?
Yeah, I think the issue is around the issuers being related to China, and many times that lack of confidence is what driving valuation. Is not so much the venue. Hong Kong as a venue is a really amazing place to list, and I would say that if a company wants to go to some other venue, it's not like they're going to get a higher valuation. It's still going to be challenging. It doesn't matter where it is. So I think the important thing is that there's a build-up in confidence in this part of the world. Now, 73 IPOs, remember the year before we had 90, so yes, there was a slowdown. There was also a change in terms of CSRC approvals, their new system that got in place. It starts getting some momentum. In the last, since the beginning of the year, just last 7 weeks, we've had 30 new companies file in Hong Kong, 30 new companies that are filing. And 73 companies versus 90 companies the year before. Even though it's a slowdown, what happened is that companies decided to do smaller IPOs. With valuations coming down, they preferred not to be diluted at low valuations. That's why they decided to potentially, say, I'll just do a smaller size offering, but I'll do my offering. And it's a respectable number, even though we would love to get back to the numbers when the markets were higher of over 100 IPOs per year.